Here and north. What do you get?
Going on board. He's super excited. Cables. Hello. So, yes, hello there. I'm Tim, and this is How to Murder Feet. I reckon this is probably week 10, really, depending on how you count this. It's possibly week 2 of my Southeast Coast Path Challenge. Week 1 of my Isle of Wight Coast Path Challenge. The one and only week. This is Ryde. Picturesque north coast seaside town on the Isle of Wight. It has a big long pier with a railway that actually goes along it, I think. Can't see any at the moment. The Isle of Wight has a very small railway line. It runs from that end of that pier there, where there's a conventional hovercat terminal passenger thing. Train station runs down all the way up to Shanklin in the middle of the island somewhere on the coast, on the far side. Of course, there's the hovercraft terminal. Brilliant. I'm all Jerry Andersoned out now. I can get on with it. So yes, this is my holiday. No week on a sun lounger in Marbella for me. So here's a convenient information sign. I've also got my own map, but I can't bother to get it out at the moment. I've got the full bag today. Yeah, because it's a week-long camping thing. Here we are. So my plan, decided to go clockwise in the end. That was a very last-minute decision. I'm going round here past Bembridge, round to Sandown, Shanklin, and I'm hoping to get somewhere around Lucumbe, pronunciations, by tonight. It's about 11 o'clock at the moment, yeah. Oh, close, no, don't do that, there you go. Yeah, so that'd be day 1. Day 2, round the south, and what they call the back of Wight, this long military road along the A3055. Hoping to get somewhere around here by the end of that day. And day 3, somewhere around to the north, past the Needles. Somewhere around this creek here, perhaps. Day 4 will be all along the top, crossing at Cowes. There's a little passenger ferry just across the river Medina there. And then somewhere, I don't know where, I'll have to see what happens and where I end up. And then that leaves me with half of day 5 to just finish up to Ryde and get back and head home. So yes, I'm looking at probably a 5-day. This is based on a 15-mile a day. I've decided to. See, the thing is, I've seen sort of websites and tourist guides about the Isle of Wight Coast Path, and it says it's 70 miles, fair enough, but it tends to couch it in stages of like 7 or 8 stages, which I think's, you know, probably a bit underachieving really from the pace I usually go, which is a kind of determined, slightly grim trudge with not much side tripping or stopping for ice cream generally. So I think 15 mile a day is reasonable, but I can always adapt it and adjust as I go. As ever, it will largely be determined about what sort of scrubland I can find in between various villages around the coast, but we'll see. So yeah, here we are. This is the Ryde Hover Terminal. Hovercraft, brilliant. Going to just show you the shoreline over here. It's quite an impressive view. An odd one as well. I normally stand on the seafront looking north at other seafronts, but yeah, this is the Isle of Wight. I mean, technically I don't really need to be here at all. Under the rules of my big Coast Path challenge, my big Great Britain Coast Path whatever, I've decided that islands are optional, but this is quite a substantial one. It's a 70-mile circumference all the way around, and it also has quite a well-defined and documented and laid out coast path as well. There's a few little inlandy bits on the north coast, but on the whole, I'm told from my research that there's a fairly elaborate and well maintained coast path with signage and everything. I'm looking for white seagulls on a blue background. on this trip. But yeah, there's Portsmouth over there where we were before. I'm sort of basically stalling until that hovercraft takes off again because I think I want to see it up close as it launches. I think you do too, really, I can tell. There's the Spinnaker Tower, Gunwharf Quay, we saw that last time, and that's all where we were before in the rain. Haslar, Gosport. And the rest of that's Portsmouth seafront, South Sea, much of which I've yet to do. And then on to Chichester and Brighton, down that way some other time. You can see sink ports. These are massive artificial concrete islands laid during the Second World War to guard the entrance to the Solent. I think they're in private hands now. One of them used to be a hotel for a bit. I don't know if that's still the case. Quite impressive. And yeah, this sort of shallow flat sands which that hovercraft just shrugged at and went caning up, which is one of the nice things about an amphibious vehicle. You don't have to worry about how deep the water is. Otherwise you need a pier. Yeah, this is passenger only. Both the conventional twin cat thing that goes off at the end of that pier back to Portsmouth, and also the hovercraft itself. No car capacity. For cars you have to go to Fishbourne over there, which we'll probably see in due course. Different place. There's also services to Cowes and Yarmouth as well, and we'll see both of those during the week as well, I expect. Weather's looking good, which is why I've kind of jumped the gun on this particular week. Managed to get a week off with 3 days notice at work. Because I thought the weather this week was going to be as good as I was going to get. So today and tomorrow are supposed to be good, supposed to be fine. Monday we're in for probably little light showers perhaps, and Tuesday a small patch of light showers as well. But that's okay, I've got the gear, I'm alright. And let's hope I don't get a washed out repeat of the East Devon stuff, which it just rained solidly on me for about 2 days, and I was just not really drying out at all. I mean, even the last trip you might have seen in the YouTube there, Gosport, Warsash to Gosport, when I was being rained on all day, there was about an hour or two of not rain at the end of the day, and that was enough for the wind to dry my clothes out. I kept walking during that time, so I kept warm. And by the time I got in the car, I was barely damp at all, so that was okay. As I say, it's relentless multi-day rain that's the problem, I think, on this kind of trip. But, you know, I've got a towel in there. I've remembered to bring one this time. So there's the hovercraft. I don't know what time it actually goes. I have to refuel it or something. I got 3, you see. Came in on that middle one. It looks like they're loading that far one. Maybe there's a turnaround. They have to tidy it up or something. It was a lot like being on a bus. Only when you look out the window, you're on the sea, you know? But the sensation and the general sort of, the feel of just sat there in the seats, people chatting and stuff. A lot of people in there clearly been on it lots, you know. Not really that exciting for them, which I pity them, I do. Hovercrafts, the future, well, I don't know. Yeah, there are less science fiction methods of getting to the Isle of Wight. There's over there's a car ferry, I think that's the Fishbourne one, I believe, from possibly from Portsmouth near Gunwharf. It cost me £22 for a single. I just rocked up and got more or less straight on it off of the bus. I guess you can save money if you book ahead or something like that, concessions and things, families and whatnot. I don't know what the return is. I tend not to buy return tickets on these weeks out in case, you know, it all goes wrong and I miss my return trip or whatever, the ticket expires or I drop it in a river or something. Far less stress not having to make sure you don't get the ticket wet for a whole week, you know. It does cost me more in the end because of that, but I don't mind. So yeah, there you go. Right, okay, I'm going to wait here till it takes off and then do a film of it, and then we'll crack on. I'll get the map out and we'll talk more and just generally enjoy myself around the Isle of Wight. Yeah. I didn't have to wait long. Here we go. You can already hear it powering up. There it is. Look at that. Completely outlandish form of human transportation. What's wrong with a boat, I hear you ask? It's not futuristic enough, I tell you. It's just idling at the moment. Gosh, I feel like a train spotter. I'm not that impressed with trains, though, in general. This is something different. This is special. Oh, it does have a number, though. I should probably put that in my little notebook. My notebook that contains 3 entries. Oh, there we go. Look, windsock there. That's a problem with hovercrafts as well. They've got no keel, obviously, so there's nothing really holding them on the water. If the wind gets up, they just start blowing sideways, you know. So when that windsock's elevated enough, they just have to cancel all the services. So. Yeah, there's a lot wrong with hovercrafts, I'll admit. But this ought to be quite impressive as it gets going. A little safety announcement. They refer to them as flights. It's cute. It's brilliant. It's a hovercraft flight. Because I suppose technically, yes, it is a sort of ground effect plane of sorts. Here we go. And we're up. Main fan on. It power slides like a madman once it's out there. Look at that. He's just going to 3-point turn on the spot. Let's give it. Here we go. None of this careful. We are reversing nonsense for this thing. I don't even know if you can hear me at all now. A lot quieter inside, I can tell you. I can feel the wind off of that, stood right here. Generating measurable wind this far away. Palpable. There it goes, big old turn. We're off. I don't care about high tide, low tide. Any tide, go for it. And just straight onto the water. That water's less than a foot deep. Doesn't care. Straight on out. Not even slowing down. And away. Yeah, and it'll just thunder on like that all the way across now. End up over there in about, I think it's about 12-15 minutes to cross. I don't know how far it is in nautical miles or anything, but you can look that up. Fantastic. Yeah, the soundproofing's very good inside. I mean, I remember on the previous hike you might have seen on YouTube there, we could hear it from Haslar, you know, as it was coming in to Southsea, but yeah, quite noisy compared to almost everything else on the slope. Yeah, I can see there's pros and cons to the form of transport. Anyway, okay, I can probably promise that's the last I'm going to obsess about hovercrafts this week, but yeah, we'll see. I haven't decided how I'm going back yet. I might go back on the normal thing just for variety at the end of the pier there, the sea cat thing. But yes, definitely have to come back to Ryde. I can't bail at Cowes or anything. I need to do the whole island. Speaking of which, let's make a start. I'm just going to follow this seawall and hopefully I'll pick up a coast path sign. It's blue background with a white seagull on we're looking for this one. And apparently it does go all the way around. Although there are some points where you do have to use the beach, so we'll see. Alright, I'm going to make a start. Let's crack on. It's beginning to worry. That's what I'm looking for. The one on the left specifically. This is Ryde Beach. Quite nice. Not rammed or anything either. An acceptable density of human beings. And up here we've got Appleby Park. It's like a little old grounds, something like that. There's a tower, quite an interesting tower over there. We'll go for a closer look. But good. No, that's what we're looking for. Good. That's what I've seen actually in about a mile of walking, so something of a relief. Yeah, they build sandcastles for keeps on the Isle of Wight. This is Aptly Tower, apparently. There might be a sign. I suspect it's home to a lesser wizard, probably with powers over like sand creatures and woodland animals. Impressive. It's probably a folly. I don't think it has much actual medieval defensive value. I reckon I could climb it, and I'm not even that good at Assassin's Creed. Ooh. Must be a plaque or something. Maybe someone actually lives there. Doesn't like people pointing cameras at it. Oop. Let's try de-zooming a bit. Oh no, it's the other way. It's actually bigger than it seems. It's mysterious. First Fleet Australia. Love it. It's probably a B&B. Find an Airbnb or something. Yeah, splendid. Alright, on we go. picturesque sweep of bay there. Quite busy. Got a lot of little houses all along this edge on the north side. But I can get a bit more of the view. Sheds. There's a generation growing up today who will never be able to get their feet on the bottom of a rung of a ladder for a shed. And it's terrible. So I think it might be Benbridge. Not sure. Was that further round? I'll have to have a look at the sign. Glorious day though. I'm going to have to stop and put the suntan stuff on soon, I think. Blasphemy! Unclean, ungodly! Oh, Hersey, right, yeah. Still walking here. It's about, I may get on for 12 now. I've been going about an hour. It's good. Brilliant, yeah. Definitely need to stop at the next pub, I find, just to get some lemonade and some suntan stuff on. Big ass beach huts there, double deckers with windows. Yeah, hoping there's a pub somewhere up ahead. Mind you, we're getting a bit away from the touristy stuff now. This is just places people live, I think, which aren't really set up for large amounts of immediate lemonade on demand. Still, I live in Hoe. Turning the corner now. Quite a narrow bit here. I think, yeah, starting to swing round towards Benbridge and down the side, I think. Just went down that pub. Past one before I decided I needed to stop at one. Typical, really. So that was Seaview. Benbridge is the next one round, on the end of there. Seaview charming, a little bit confusing. Now this is a problem. Gonna go for the shore. Tide coming in. Let's see how long it takes. Repairing sea defences, installing new ones, something like that. At high tide, this area of shoreline is strictly off limits to the public. Well, it's actually lowish tide, but coming in, I think. Looking at the, you can tell if it's coming in or going out, because you can see how wet the stuff just above the waterline is. And that's quite dry, so that means that's coming in. So yeah, crack on. Turned out nice again. Quite warm. Oh, I saw a weather report saying 22 today, or was that tomorrow? I mean today. Interesting. Isle of Wight footpaths all have their own numbers. Don't know if R74 is just this stretch or the whole coast path, but it's good to see a sign anyway. Yeah, working hard. I haven't complained about how heavy my bag is this trip, because it's not really. I can feel its weight, but it's strapped up quite tight against my back, so it just feels like I put on a bit of weight, which isn't unusual. Bit sheltered here, hopefully we'll get a bit of a breeze on the top. Quite low winds all week though. Of course I'm sweating the suntan stuff off already. I might just have to burn. Bench of the Dead. Memory of Colonel Ian Hodder and much loved husband, father, papa, great grandpapa. 1996 to 2020. Liked oars, clearly. Unless they're juggling clubs. Shade up ahead, that'd be good. Bit of a panic cleansing hill. I haven't seen a hill like this since Purbeck. Swanage. Which is not unexpected actually. The Isle of Wight shares a lot more geologically speaking with Dorset than Hampshire. So that if you look at the lateral ridge lines on the map, you'll see that Isle of Wight sort of here, got this like big long hill across the centre, and then Purbeck and Poole Harbour and everything are over here. Continuation of the rock. Hampshire's quite flat by comparison, as you'll know from the last couple of wanderings through the Solent and surrounds, New Forest. Can't see the sea though. It's maybe a bit of an inland detour because of no sea access. That's fine. Not panicking. I think we're going in probably the right direction anyway. But yeah, it's good to see hills again. I mean, it's nothing compared to Cornwall and Devon, but a bit of a workout. Mix things up a bit. Shell's shady as well, it's nice. Yeah, I think the coast path on the Isle of Wight does a fairly good job of following the actual coast from what I gather, but there are stretches. Levelling off a bit anyway, it's good. I think we're done with promenading for a bit anyway. Prior to this bit, it's been pretty much follow the seawall all the way from Ryde, so there's more promenading to do though. Sandown and Shanklin are both archetypal seaside towns, so much so that there's a special train line that runs from Ryde down to Shanklin. It's the smallest national rail district in the country. It's got one line that has like 3 stops, and often comes at the very top of all the performance tables, punctuality and stuff. Because they got like one train, and it's quite easy to keep that under control. Right. Keep going. Yeah, so this is, I don't know what the deal is with today. I've kind of pushed myself a bit for today because I've got an 11 o'clock start and still got 15 miles to do. So just a reasonable 2 mile an hour. I can expect to be done by about 6 o'clock. Sunset's about 8:30, 9 to be honest. It's still going to be dusky at 9. So I've got plenty of time, but it's just the long day that's going to wear me out a bit. And the rest of the trip's going to be 15 miles from sunrise to sunset. So it's, you know, much better pace, much more time to stop and dawdle if I want. Right. Yep, that's the sign. Turned a corner, probably because of this. Some big old estate you're not allowed in. Got over the top of the hill as well. I mean, that sea view place must be a bit of a sun trap because it's cooler up here. We've got a bit nice wind. It's amazing what airflow will do for your body's ability to thermoregulate. Nice downhill grade, quite a lot of shade. Pleasant. I think we're on R74 now, we just left R83. I don't know, it's going to be a running thing, I think. The thing about the Isle of Wight, they love regimenting their footpaths. Please obey all further signage. Absolutely. Just a general principle to live by. See a few bikes going backwards and forwards. Don't know, yeah, it's not like the South West Coast Path, which specifically prohibits bikes. I guess these are all byways or whatever. Plenty of tyre tracks. I've got to watch myself. Like ninjas. Oh, hello, what have we got through there? I've seen an interesting thing. Brittany Ferries. Portsmouth to, ooh, I don't know where they run to from here. Cherbourg, maybe? Yeah, it's not the closest French crossing. It's going to be about 4 hours worth probably from here to France. 4 or 5. Portsmouth to Caen maybe? Cherbourg, something like that. Yeah, quite a way south, France. About 70 miles I think at this point of the channel. It sort of narrows like a wedge towards Dover. Only 20 miles across there. We don't get so many people trying to get across on dinghies and nearly dying in the attempt in this neck of the woods. Mind you, my southeast coast path will take me past Dover, and I do wonder if I'm going how that's going to play me wild camping on the dunes where customs people are looking for dinghies full of economic migrants. Might have to perhaps B&B a little more in that section. I don't know, problem for another day certainly. All right, people. Well, that's new. Gate of the Dead. Sporting Our Island, Alan and Margaret Parker, Coast Path. Possibly not even dead. So on the right track, which is always useful. Donate a gate. Oh, there you go. Ways to raise extra maintenance funds, I guess. Well, I hope that's where it's going anyway. So yeah, still somewhere in between Seaview and Benbridge at the moment. Just plodding on, enjoying the summer. It's It's basically summer now. It's only a week later than I'm normally doing this. I know, because I use the Eurovision Song Contest to help remember when hiking time is. Which was 2 weeks ago, not today. Well, a week ago, not today, yeah. So, yeah, it's about the same sort of season, same time of year, same temperatures and stuff, so it's all good. I didn't want to leave it too much later into the year, so I'm glad I got to Portsmouth when I did, because, you know, my OCD likes it to all be in order. So, yeah, nice. A bit of a panorama. So I think that's Dover Head or Culver Head, something like that. I think that's like the easternmost end of the sort of central ridge of the Isle of Wight. I need to be up and over that today at some point. Follow round to Bembridge firstly. This is all National Trust, this bit. St Helens Dover or something like that. Car. That many cars, there must be an ice cream van there. I pray it doesn't elude me for long. Good job I'm quite observant. It's like a shattered marker on a post that's about a foot high. I had some vague idea that I was heading to one end of a massive bay. So I need to actually go through there now then, yeah. Blimey. I'm sleepwalking on this trip. I thought it was saying well signposted. Yeah, well, okay. Guess I do have to use my own maps now and then as well. Yeah, right, yeah, follow this around the inside of the big bay at Bembridge, whatever it's called, and loop back round. Gotcha. Blimey. Sort of tidal fens. Don't think I want to go straight on. Reckon that seawall there probably is a good bet. I think I need to be at that end of this whole thing anyway. Let's try and get on there then, I think. It's got a little bridge. Let's do that, yeah. I can do this. Yeah, this looks like it's going to get me back on track. It's a bit uneven, but pay attention, don't, you know, hold a phone and film while you're walking along it or anything. Yeah, so you've got this big old harbour inlet type of affair over there. Oh, bike's coming along behind me, here we go. Anyway, I need to sort of go around the inland side of this, otherwise I'm going to get stuck. I'll have to swim. Yeah, quirky old thing. Repaired quite a few times, so it's varying degrees of technological sophistication for bridges along it. Had to walk along a dry weir at one point. Yeah, probably makes more sense at high tide, more dramatic and so on. Still, I don't know how high tide is, looking at the... oh yeah, I reckon that probably goes up a couple of feet up the wall there. Oh, I guess I go round then, do I? Right. A lot of private yacht clubs and roadside trudging at the moment. Okay. Still, the little harbour there is quite pretty. Whiffs a bit too much green, but it just shows it's real, not some fabricated, imported sand type of arrangement. Pretty sure I needed to come around here. I don't think you can just get across over there. That does look like it goes out to sea around that bend. Some surprisingly good views inland as well. Just back there a little bit. You can see the interior. I mean, the Isle of Wight is huge. It really is. I mean, it's about 30 miles across. About 20 or so from top to bottom. It's like several hill valleys in there. Farmland, all sorts. Newport. I mean, we're not going to be seeing Newport today because it's actually quite far inland. It's about 10 miles up the Medina River from Cowes, so not on my itinerary. But that's quite a large, I don't know, small city, big town, whatever. Yeah, it's a serious place. Not just some sort of a tiny little rock in the ocean with a ferry trip and a bird colony, you know. It's going to take me 4.5 days to walk around it, probably at a push. And you, if all else fails. I'd rather not cheat in that manner, but you know, it's my contingencies. If something goes wrong, you know, if my knee pops off or something, then you know I can stagger to a bus stop and get home safely. So that's a relief as well. That's reassuring. But yeah, No, I'm feeling quite good though. I mean, I'm hot. I do the drink, but Bembridge coming up. Be about to be a pub or two there. But yeah, legs are good, feet are good, back's all right. Yeah, I feel like I could do this for days, which is just as well, really. Yeah, we're all good. So far, so good. Enjoying it. It's nice. That's a bit unusual. Very exotic houseboats along here. It's not, you know, a beach hut. It's not boats. Something else. I don't know if they're dirigible, whether they go anywhere, or whether they just languish here forever. Could they be sailed? I saw an empty socket for one actually. It had like the little shed bit and the ramp, but the boat itself was missing. So presumably some of these can actually sail. They seem too high up above the waterline though, to be honest. I wonder if it's some just weird tax break thing. I can't decide if these are super expensive or absolute hovels, you know, they sort of loop back round the other side again. It's very odd. I don't even want to guess at prices. No idea whatsoever. Yeah, it's not even 2 o'clock yet and I'm doing well. Had a stop in a cafe in the harbour down there. Slice of cake, can of Sprite, almond magnum. Now I'm on BB35. This is the new footpath du jour, only it's a road, so well, they go down there anyway. Right. I mean, you know, I'm generally against trudging along roads, but when they're this small and this infrequently trafficked, I don't really mind. I mean, you start to have to ask yourself philosophical questions about what is a footpath and what is a road at that point. Is it a road if there are never any cars on it? Don't know. Anyway, yes. Don't think that's me. Gonna go along here. So yeah, this is Bembridge around me, I think. A bit idyllic. Super rich too, probably. It's all coastal hideaways. This kind of thing. I think you've made it if you have a keypad at the edge of your property. One of the signifiers. Yeah, so I reckon I got a good 6 hours of daylight left. Useful daylight, and I think, I don't know, about half of what I hope to get done today done. It's quite a big hill to do. Culver Point or hill or whatever. After which it's downhill sweep into Sandown and then Shanklin. And that's all seafront promenade stuff as well. We're basically cutting around the eastern tip of the island now at the moment. We swing south and then turn west as we go. Yeah, it's good. Nice and shady actually, it's quite considerate all in all. But yes, relatively far from the sea I suspect. Still on the approved coastal path. I mean, I wonder if I ought to be doing more to just, you know, doggedly stick to the shoreline regardless. I mean, you know, I can't even ask myself what would Dr. Ruth do, because she never came here. She decided that the Isle of Wight was an optional thing that she didn't need to worry about, so she went straight on past. I'm following somebody else's blog actually. I have to probably go and get some good reception so I can get a name and properly credit them, but this chap did the Isle of Wight coast path, blogged it all up, and he logged his path on that Google stalky geolocatey app thing as well. So I've got actually a website which has got pretty much as good as official follow the coast of the Isle of Wight route, so that's a good sort of secondary reference. Mostly I'm just following the signs though, they're very good. Haven't really got that lost at all so far, which is surprising. So yes, it's all good so far. It's a massive country house. You know you've made it when you have a gatehouse which is a separate house. I think I'm going down here. Have you seen this woman? Wanted for, oh, okay. No, it's her, isn't it? Yeah, it's the Queen. That's next weekend. That's one of the reasons I wanted to get it done this weekend, because I didn't really want to be trying to do any hikey travel on a bank holiday jubilee, everything shut for street parties type of situation. I might give myself that weekend off from hiking entirely. I'll be back before then probably. Yeah. Heading back to the sea, down there I think. I just had to stop and look at this immaculate lawn. It's been levelled with laser accuracy. Some sort of country estate, a big old mansion in there. Right, we're going down here. I think this leads us back to the shore. We might be able to look at the Benton Lighthouse, lifeboat. Not a lighthouse. There are lighthouses to be seen. I think there'll be one tomorrow, probably not today. There's the Nitten Lighthouse, the very south tip of the island. We'll be seeing that tomorrow, I think. But yes, I can see a big structure on stilts out on the end of a jetty there. Not sure if you can go and have a look, but we'll go past it quite closely, I'm sure. I don't really like poking around inside working lighthouses. Lifeboats. What if it goes off? What if there's a sudden emergency and I'm in the way? And I've caused people to be lost at sea. Or I have to go along. I mean, that'd be interesting, certainly, but I'm not really qualified. Alright, what do we got here? Steps. Coastal path. Oh, that's a lovely vista. It's like a bit of beachfront act coming up now then. Yes, beautiful. Big old boats out there. It's a very red one. Guess some of these are anchored waiting for their go at Southampton docks. A long buried cog gear wheel of some sort. Never getting that out. It's well in there. Some steam powered shipwreck of some sort, half a world away. Well, that sort of thing wouldn't float really. So yes, coast path is literally on the coast again. Obviously heard me complaining about inland detours. Some rotting old concrete sea defences here. Teeth-like bits of wood poking up out of the sand at just the right angle to cause serious harm if I trip. Oh, it's a nightmare. Ah, lighthouse. I keep calling it a lighthouse. Lifeboat station is huge. It's got 2 floors. Balcony on this end, some sort of loft. So quite a big boat in there, I guess. Probably room for people to sleep and like fireman, active detail, call duty thing. Don't know. To see what the deal is up at the top here. So I'm definitely on the coast path. I haven't got it wrong. I just need to be a bit careful and keep an eye out for when it expects me to leave the beach. Find my correct exit. Yeah, here I am, look, right at the water's edge. And the tide's coming in. Does look inviting. Salty as hell though. Never get that out. I'll be grinding away in my clothes for the rest of the week. Stay out of it, I think. So I don't know, is that sea view over there? Maybe? It's the far side of the harbour bit. Maybe. Not sure I'm going all the way out. I don't want to intrude or be a busy, nosy person. Big old party of people trooping up down there on ahead of me as well. And it's a nice spot to see out to sea from. So yeah, I think my coast path just carries on around the end. And a whole new vista. At some point a big old hill to have to climb as well, but it's okay. Looking forward to it. Nice cooling breeze today. Yeah. Yeah, lighthouse lifeboats are good. Don't find myself with a pressing need to see one. I want to see how they work up close. Plus it's extra mileage. Look how far out that goes. Green waters. Blue waters with green stuff on the bottom. Quite healthy looking. Quite clear as well. Yeah, that'll do me. Days are wasting. I've done quite a few piers in my time. This is a good one. This is new and modern. I'm quite surprised at the size and scale of that lifeboat station. I mean, they got the old one there as well. Maybe that's still in use for something or other. And must do quite well on the donations, which is good. Entirely donation based. Apparently, I don't think they get any government money, the RNLI. And they still manage to maintain this. Shows people can club together if they need to. Right, there's a coast path arrow there. Follow that. Is it down there or is it up there? So I have to go investigate. This is more like it. Look at that. Look at that. It's on the wrong side, but you know, apart from that, I feel like I'm at home. Well, not home, you know, South West Cornwall. Yeah, a bit of a weird inland detour through a big housing estate and then past a pub. But I found my way through and found another seagull, and so here we go. Scraped the old tent a bit on the rather narrow footpaths running through there, but should be alright. Look at that. I thought that was an island that I didn't know about but until I looked at it more closely. It's one of those massive cargo container ships that we saw at Southampton, just out there lurking. Yeah, we need to be going up there next. Look at that. Not that. That. Probably. I don't know. Can you see it? Oh, there we go. Yeah, that monument up on top. So there's a big old cliff climb to do. Hopefully in stages. Not quite Cornish or Devonish, but should present a bit of an effort. Might have to have a sit down before I attempt it. Doing okay, feet are aching a bit, but you know, they do, that's what they do. Just need to keep at it. And yeah, it looks like we're getting clear of Bembridge anyway, that was it there. So this is all just stuff in between, I guess. Let's keep at it, see where we end up next. I mean, the other side of that big old hill is Sandown or Shanklin, or one or two or both of them. So we might be able to get a bit of an evening meal there before striking further onward. Some sort of secluded wilderness, ideally. It's only 2:30, so I've got loads of day left yet. That's good. Just come out of a really long sort of wooded cliff top walk there. Quite a lot of up and down, mostly because the cliff's eroding. It's starting to go, by the looks of it, over a long period of time. Trees grow over the sort of rumpled terrain. There's quite a bit of fresh drop over there as well. See bits of it through the gaps. Yeah, so that's looking nearer. What's that? It's like an enormous fossil. Can't even see it, too reflecty. There, that bit. Odd. Maybe there's a sign. Anyway, looking for a bench because I think I deserve a sit down and a bit of a drink. It's quite getting through the fluids, I expect. Coming up for 3 o'clock, so got practically speaking about 5 hours worth of daylight, useful daylight left. Yeah, I'm going to have to get up on top of there at some point soon, so I'd like a bit of a rest before I start. Good. Here I am, using documentarianism to excuse myself from having to push on up. It's hard work. Halfway up the side of the thing, I think. Apparently there's a pub on the top and I stopped for a lemonade again. Yeah, I think I'm doing really well for time, but quite poor on how far my feet can go. I think I'm alright. I think I'll be alright. Night's sleep will be good. But yeah, I can't really... Once I get down the other side of this other hill, I mean, bear in mind it's only like 3:30 now. Once I get down the other side of here, there's not going to be... It's basically wall-to-wall town. You've got Sandown and then Shanklin, they sort of spread across the shore all the way down as a big long promenade. Not really going to be anything campable until we hit the other side. But that's okay, I mean that should coincide with the kind of time I get there as well, so I think I've got time in hand, to be honest. I like to wait till the sun's going down, so dusk before I get set up. Furtive? Me? No. I just saw a plane take off there. I think we've got some sort of runway over there, I'd say. Yeah. That's Spinnaker Tower, Portsmouth. I don't know why I'm doing this now. I mean, we get to the top of the hill, we have a fantastic view, but yeah. Just the eastern interior of the Isle of Wight. Rolling fields, much like Hampshire, to be honest, across the Solent. Oh, right, okay, let's keep pushing. Definitely going to get a drink at the top. I'm up, mostly. Oh, there's some stuff to look at over there in a minute. Yeah, I'll get there in a minute. God. Oh, look, interesting. Look at that while I wheeze a bit. It's a beacon. Seen plenty of those on my travels. Probably even shown you guys some here and there. And back in Devon. Yeah, this would have been one of the most forward alert posts of it. Of the anti-Spaniard defence warning system. Lookouts would have been stationed here, probably another one or two on the very southern tip of the place as well. I've got more to go to get to there, but it's a good lookout as any. Stick the old bale of sticks and straw in the top, set the torch to it. People hopefully paying attention over in Hampshire would respond similarly with their tall hill flames. I remember, here we go, no, not the Armada, I wasn't there around then, but back when Princess Di, Queen of Hearts, was first married Prince Charles back in the day. I think I must have been about 8 or something, and they lit all of these to celebrate it, and we went to the one at Newbury on top of the big hill. And I don't know if I remember seeing any sort of relay beacons in the distance spark up to let us know when that one should be lit or whatever, but yeah. Last time the nation had a soul, or something, I don't know. Oh, windmill. I thought there was one down in Benbridge somewhere, but it was a bit more inland than we saw. So I can steady cam onto that. There we go. Yieldy grain milling windmill, rather than the more common wind power hydro. No, not hydroelectric. That's dams. That's waterfalls. But yeah, not a wind turbine. It's for milling grain, or was. It's probably a B&B now. They mostly are. I think we're going to see a lot more windmills out to sea when we get further around. I know around Brighton sort of way there's a whole load of them out in the channel offshore from Brighton. See them glinting there, white sticks in the distance. Not so many around here though. Wrong kind of seabed, or just the wrong kind of locals and the wrong kind of planning lobbying. Still, there we go, there's Portsmouth. Spinnaker Tower, probably Clarence Pier a bit further along. Hard to make out the detail, to be honest. And a bigger bit of hill over there, which I'm going to go up to, a big monument of some sort, some battle or another. It's unlikely to have hieroglyphs on. And I think one of those buildings is a pub, so I probably will try and get a drink, although I'm cooled off quite considerably now this wind's having full rain. Something to consider for tonight's pitch as well. That's a fairly stiff breeze. I don't think it's going to get dangerously fast today. I did check all the weather, but I might want to be in the wind shadow of something or other before I set up. Right, I'm going to go over there. Impressive, whoever it is. I'm being careful this time after the last monument I slagged off. What he says on the other side? Don't know. Maybe I should just know that coat of arms. I don't know, I mean I'm no architect, but if the trees look like that, You probably don't want to put houses there, but you know, it's a whole row of houses. There's about 10 houses, I think. Big little terrace there, little shop, little pub. Odd. I'm going to hold off until I get down to Sandown, which I think is that one. Promenade all the way along. I think Shanklin is the one to the far side of it. They sort of blur into each other, I think. And then I'm not quite sure whereabouts Benton is. Award-winning camera work. But anyway, yeah, definitely broken the back of today, that's for sure. Figuratively and literally. Completely out in this garden, trying to tie the flowers down. That's a nice enough place to live, I suppose. Quite quirky. I wonder what the broadband's like. Alright, a little bit of windswept foreshore and hillside, and then down to a big long 2-3 mile promenade by looks there. Let's do that. So just down this little bit and onto a promenade that goes on for about 2 miles. Sandown and or Shanklin. I think that one must be Benton then, over there with the big grey lift thing. Don't want to be getting that far today. Ideally looking somewhere between Shanklin and Benton on the tops there, but quite a lot of houses along there. Don't know. This is just Sandown and Benton's around the corner. That might be Shanklin then, I don't know. In which case I've got more work to do. Oh, I have to check my maps and things. Have a sit down and have a coffee or something. It's quite cool now actually. It's a bit of hazy cast, overcast and a pretty strong wind coming in. So I'm keeping cool, which is nice. But I could do with some caffeine, I think. Wake me up a bit. Let's get down there and see what we can see. Sandown, city limits, etc. Seen better days, I think. I think that used to be a Lido, some sort of animal sanctuary now. They call hot hatch meetups as well. Actually, they're not that hatchbacky, to be honest. They look like actual touring cars. I don't know. It's a better class of cruising goes on here. Yeah, a bit of long. I mean, yeah, I reckon this is all Sandown. I think Benton, no, Benton was around the corner then, around the end, which I don't want to get to today, but I do want to get past Shanklin. I think that might be Shanklin over there, which is quite a way away. A bit more work to do today. That's okay. I will try and sit down and have a cup of coffee somewhere though. It gets a bit more dense up at the far end by the pier there. That to be something. Lovely evening. It's already evening, it's 4 o'clock. So I've got about 3 hours of useful daylight, I suppose. It should get me 6 miles if I'm not, you know, just shambling along. That's where I was. I think it should do it, yeah. I'm hoping tomorrow's the same distance, but I get a much earlier start, so many more hours in the day, which means I can sit around and do nothing for more of tomorrow, hopefully. I'm going to get in touch of first day blues again. Sandown pier there. It's like it might have seen better days. Says that. Alright. Still in search for coffee, which is turning out to be harder than I thought. Mostly because I can't seem to stop. I mean, oh yeah, I'm doing that again, so oh well. Keep at it. Made myself sit down. Drinking an ice cream for now. Try and get something proper to eat when I get to the next one, which is Shanklin over there. It does look like there's actually a continuous promenade all the way along, which is good because that was a bloody great cliff there. Not looking forward to some stairs otherwise. Yeah, there's the pier, and it kind of ramshackle. I suppose that's a word you could use to describe Sandown in general. There's a lot of smashed up broken hotels along the front. All day's fun in one. Yeah, I don't know about that. Still, just going to wait. It's long enough for my feet to stop throbbing a bit and then carry on to the next one. It's probably going to be quite similar. Nope. Blue Seagull says go up top of a cliff. That's some quite unwelcome stairs. Mind you, I suppose if I don't descend into Benton, then I can keep this altitude. We'll see. I suppose it is a bit more scenic up here. The hedge needs a bit of a trim there. Nothing's going to fall on me from above. It's also useful. Could consider keeping one of those if it didn't smell of piss so badly. Yeah, and I'm not entirely sure that thing went all the way to the end. I think it might do. It's down as a cycle trail. Oh, let's keep at it. Quite posh houses. High value. Extremely close to quite muddy, erosive cliff. This lot will be gone in 25 years. I'm feeling quite nervous just walking this close to the edge. Nice evening stroll there, late afternoon. I think we're on time and on schedule. Just hope I can recover some footwear and tear during the night. Take it a bit easier tomorrow, I think. I pushed it a bit too hard today. What, me? No. Still on the coastal path though, so that's a good sign. Somewhere between Sandown and Shanklin. Need to get out the other side of Shanklin before I start looking for innocuous looking flat bits of grass. And yeah, hopefully get a hot meal of some sort in Shanklin as well. Fast food or whatever, you know. Lake Parish Council. Yeah. Right. Keep moving. So that's Shanklin, which appears to be mostly a Jurassic Park themed golf pirate thing. It's actually a puddle of blood. Ew. But yeah. Also, the park doesn't seem to even lead down there, so I get to miss out on the seafront at Benton. Oh, I think well, I'm going back up there, and it's stayed along the top since Sandown. So hard to tell from this range, but it does seem like Shanklin's a bit less messed up than Sandown. Maybe it's the railway connection here. Anyway, I need to keep moving. Looks like I don't get to use the lift. I'm going over there, I think. It's just fine. Not sure there's anything specifically I need to see down on the Shanklin seafront. Just keep rocking on. So this is Shanklin Chime. Shanklin Chime, yes. And this is what I actually had to look it up, what a chine is. And a chine is, well, this. It's basically a name for when a river cuts into a cliff, causing a notch or a ravine. Basically what I'd been referring to as down then ups since Minehead, so there you go. I've learned something here today. Also seeing at least 3 different grub type places, and it is 1741, and I think I'm just about out the far side of Shanklin. So pressing onward will take me to wherever I need to be for tonight, I imagine. And it needs to be a bit darker. The sun's quite high up actually. So yeah, if it's like coming on to 6 o'clock, I think I've about 2, maybe 3 hours before it's proper dusk, proper dark. So I think I can probably spare time to get an actual dinner, because otherwise I'm just going to keep walking past everything and end up having to just sit there in a hedge eating cashew nuts and drinking amaretto from a hip flask again, which, you know, has its appeal. But since the opportunity's here, I probably ought to take it. After it's taken me right past all this, I think this one up here will do, to be honest. It's open. They've got outdoor stuff, which is important because I really do honk at the moment. And I'm certainly not dressed for dinner in any proper hotel, so yeah, let's do that. Put my feet up a bit. Actually, what's that one down there now? Oh, this one will do. I'll keep getting choosy. Right, I'll talk to you after dinner probably. So in typical fashion, the first pub I looked at didn't do food. The second pub I looked at turned out to be inside Shanklin, which is apparently pay for entry attraction, and not on the path anyway. Third one was just very busy, so I ended up heading back into Shanklin, found a fish and chip shop, just sat there munching away for half hour or so to kill a bit of time and have a hot meal. And now the area I thought I was looking at, this Luckham place, far from being the wilderness scrubland I was expecting, turns out to be some kind of Beverly Hills. So I need to trudge on and get out the other side and see if anything improves before dark. Let's look into bivvy bags. Yeah, still looking. It's all a bit private road access at the moment. I haven't really found. I've had a short spell of landslip woodland, but all too bumpy, nothing useful in there. I don't know what these are, but they do very, very well here, intimidatingly so. Kind of triffid, clearly. I've seen flowering palms all over the place here as well. This is definitely not the climate one would expect in the UK. Right, the path carries on through this little garden-y bit. Lovely. Bit impractical. Well. If only I could find somewhere to put my tent. Oh well, I'll have to just keep walking all night then. Yeah, no brambles, no stinging nettles. Ground's relatively level, relatively free of debris. Leaves mostly. I don't know what the soil's like for pushing into. It's all landslip jumble. See, the trees mean it's not going anywhere in a hurry. Crows are a bit noisy. Imagine they calm down. And even better, wild garlic. It's quite a heady smell, which I happen to quite like. So yeah, this would be a perfect place to put a tent if I were going to sleep anywhere. But I'm not. I'm going to keep walking all night like some sort of infrared viewing automaton. Yeah. Well, it's been a good day though. Quite a long one. Well, easily done the 15 miles, probably a bit more. I mean, if I kept going much further, I'd probably end up in Benton, so in the middle of the night, which is not helpful. Yeah, I could always go to a B&B or a Travelodge or whatever, but I'd rather not. It defeats the point a bit. Yeah, quite tired, feet a bit achy. I'm thinking a good night not on my feet will help with that. And then we'll take it a bit easier tomorrow. So tomorrow's going to be the same amount of distance, but I'll have an additional 5 hours in which to do it, so I anticipate stopping and sitting about a lot more. Should be good. And tomorrow I think I've got my eye on an actual campsite, which may or may not pan out. You know how these things are, but there's one on the back of Wight, as they call it, the big long southwestern stretch. There's one about 2/3 the way along, which I think would probably be a good spot. That'll probably bring me in a little bit under the mileage I was expecting, but that's no bad thing. I think I might have overextended a bit today, and plus I can always catch up on my day in which I only have to do 6 miles. So yeah, good. Well, there we go. The Isle of Wight east coast, pretty much in one go. Benton's pretty much on the south tip of the island. Follow that round and then swinging around back up into the west. So yeah. Okay, right, well I've got to stop recording because the battery's nearly out on the phone. I must have overdone it a bit too today. I've got battery packs in there, I can charge it overnight, that's fine. Oh, right, I'm going to say good night then, because it's getting a bit too dark to film otherwise, and I've got to do clandestine things. See you in the morning.